Hello, I'm Sinta Ebersohn. I'm the founder of Fair Divorce, which is a global educational initiative for families who are going through divorce. I'm here today to speak to you about alienation or parental alienation, as many of us know it. That is a result of coercive control, which is a term that is more widely used these days for alienation. There's a huge debate going on in the world about alienation, whether it's actually true, whether it actually exists, or whether it's just a strategy or a tactic used in legal battles and predominantly in divorce. I'm here to tell you that alienation has existed long before our divorce rates have skyrocketed the way they have in the last couple of decades. Alienation is an old thing. It does not only occur in divorce, it occurs in many relationships. In fact, as a divorce mentor, I myself have seen in many of the divorces that I've mentored the couples through, where there's alienation present. If I go back into the history, when the marriage was still working well, there was not that much conflict, there was sometimes not even consideration of separation, you can see the signs of alienation. You can see the signs of a parent vying for the favor of one child. You can see the signs, however subtle, of one parent undermining the relationship with that the child has with the other parent. Parental alienation is rife. I've designed a set of t-shirts for alienated family members, and I'm wearing one at the moment. You can see it has a red heart and 3 white hearts around it. The red heart is my own. And I've got 3 white hearts around my heart because in my family, an extended family, there are 3 children who have been alienated. Incidentally, in this situation, all 3 of the children are girls and all 3 of them were alienated from their fathers. And the alienator was primarily the mother, and she had support in some of the cases from the grandparents or one of the grandparents. In my family situation, one of these children is a grown woman in her 30s. She was alienated from her father even before she was born. And to this day, he has never met her. None of us in the family have ever met her. And this is the result of interference from grandparents and the mother's inability to stand up to the grandparents. And this whole alienation happened. It's more than 30 years later. And I have a family member out there that don't even know where she is, what she looks like, or how she's doing. And she is totally unaware of a whole side of her family that could have been loving and supportive, that she could have built memories with, that she could have shared her life with. The other child in my extended family is also a daughter who was actively and systematically alienated from her father and her siblings on her father's side by the jealousy and the hatred and the resentment of her mother. And then the added support and coercion from her stepfather when he came into the picture. This child is to this day struggling with unstable, unhealthy relationships. To this day, she's estranged in many ways, in many aspects, from her father, from his entire family, and from her siblings on her father's side. The third child was also alienated from her father by her mother and her grandparents while she was still in her mother's womb. The father was rejected, was chased away, was criticized, broken down, bad-mouthed, you name it, and the father was literally kept away from his child. And he only managed to see her a couple of times after a lot of legal action and pressure and communication and mediation and negotiation. He was finally allowed to see his daughter only under supervision. And I tell you what, the saddest part is the father of this child has since passed away. And this child is growing up without her father. And the little time that she had to spend with her father, to bond with her father, to get to know her father and his family, was taken away from her. She was robbed of every opportunity she had to spend with the whole one half of her family before the father passed away. I designed these t-shirts for families who have alienated children, and there's a whole series that you can choose from. Your red heart shows the love for your children, and even though our children naturally love us, I've made their hearts white because their love has been suppressed, their love has been criticized, their love has been punished, so their love is white. They're not able and not allowed to show their love for us. So that's why it looks like this. You can choose a t-shirt with just one heart, with 2 hearts, 3 hearts, 4, 5, 6, and I've even made a special t-shirt for a mom who had 8 children that she'd been alienated from. So there's a whole lot of choice. And before I forget, please like this video and share it with as many people as possible, because it's important to get this message out there. I will, in the comments below, put the link to where you can find some of these t-shirts to buy for yourself. You can order it and it can be delivered anywhere in the world. So the reason I did this is because I'm a fierce campaigner against parental alienation. And I want to tell you again, alienation is common. I see it every day as a divorce mentor. I see it every day as I work hard to resolve conflict between parents, and the children suffer. The whole family suffers. It's not just the parent that's alienated. It's the siblings, it's the step-siblings, the step-parents, it's the grandparents, the aunts and uncles, the cousins, the nieces. It's the entire family that becomes alienated. And it's so, so damaging. And the worst part is when those children grow up, and if they're lucky, somewhere along the line, they figure out what had been going on. They're in a position where they've already been alienated from one parent, and now the parent that they've been aligned with and that they've had present in their lives have now also turned out to be dishonest, disloyal. The child is realizing, whatever age they are, that this parent that I've loved and that I've been loyal to has betrayed me all these years. So the impact is that this child suddenly finds him or herself with no parent whatsoever to trust, to love, to believe in, to feel safe with. How must you deal with that? And the second thing that happens if they grow older and they realize this is guilt. They blame themselves for falling into the trap. They blame themselves for not seeing through the lies and the deceit and the stories. They blame themselves for not figuring it out. I can't tell you how many times I've heard them say, how could I not see through this? How could I not realize what was going on? So they sit without any parent and the guilt and the blame that they put on themselves. It's devastating. It's devastating to be an alienated child. It's devastating to be an alienated family member. Don't let anybody tell you that there's no such thing as alienation. It is rife. It happens all the time in all parts of the world. I see it every day, and I work in a global context. Please visit the site that you'll find the link to in the comments below. Buy a t-shirt in support of this campaign so that we can bring this message out to the rest of the world. I interview parents, grandparents, and family members who've been alienated, children who've been alienated, and even children and family members who've been reunited. And all these interviews are going onto my YouTube channel to create awareness, to push and drive this campaign. So please support it. And again, please like this video and share it as widely as possible. I thank you for your support.